So now is the time for me to remove the f2 pawn by oh, not yet. First I played king to d7, getting my king out of the way so I could play rook to g8, of course. And after a3, which I consider a null move from white, I took on e3. White recaptured with the pawn, thinking that this pawn structure here would be solid enough. Well, it seems also till the end of the game it seems to be solid enough to stay there, but now g3 is weakened. And that's where I'm aiming for now. So I play g5, offering up the pawn, but of course going to recapture it very soon. Well, white captures it with the pawn from h4, and I play rook c to g8, and now for sure going to recapture the pawn on g5. Okay, from this position I want to take a look at king safety. How can the black king, positioned here, be attacked within, let's say, 3 moves? 3 or 4, whatever, doesn't matter that much. There isn't a clear line for white to get to the white king fast. There isn't just any line. So then we go take a look at the white king over there, and it seems to be that the white king is in a bit of more open space there, so it is easier for black to get to the white king. Okay, well, let's continue from here. So black decides to move the white decides to move the king to f2, getting it out of the firing line of my g rook. But that didn't matter, because here I took the pawn on g5. I've gained back my material, and actually here my opponent recaptured, and my engine says this is the critical mistake from white in the game. Why would it be? Well, for starters, in this position black has 2 reasonably good pieces, light pieces. White here has this knight here on f3, which is actually a quite good piece for defending the king side of the board, but then this bishop here on b2 is an awful piece to have to play with. It's blocked in by its own pawns, and there isn't going to be a fast way to get it out of there. Maybe by playing moves like a4, bishop to a3, bishop to d6, but that also will cost a lot of time, and white isn't in a position here to spend that much time. What white should have played here, according to my engine, was rook to h1, and on the next move rook to g1. But never capture the bishop on g5. Therefore white will lose its only good light piece, and black is left with a good piece versus a black piece, worse piece from white. So white did capture, but now it's time to go and exploit the profit I made here. So I recaptured. Here my opponent played rook to h1, but now it's already too late, and you will see very soon why, because I start to move my pieces from the queen side of the board to the king side of the board. For example, knight to e7, knight to f5, queen to d8, and possibly to any of these squares, and rook to g8. Well, you see a very heavy kingside attack coming up, and still the black king is safe because there isn't a fast check or anything. So here I played knight to e7, my opponent played rook to h3 and knight to f5. Well, knight to f5, I wanted to play this move before I moved the rook to g8, because now the queen can't come in and get to h7. So I'm locking up the white's queen on the queen side of the board where nothing is left to do actually. So okay, white here plays rook to g1, I play rook to g8, and my opponent here realized that his dark squared bishop is actually on a bad place, so he's trying to move it around like this to get it into a better square. But as you can see, that will take a couple of moves, and I don't give white the time for that amount of moves. Here I start to attack immediately by playing h4. White can't take, of course, and shouldn't let me take. So he played g4. I capture, recapture, recapture. And as you can see here now, some material has been traded off. Black is up a pawn, has much more safer king's position, with these pawns as defenders of the king. And now there are open files to attack on. So white is actually already lost here, but the game did last a few moves longer, so I will show you those moves, but it's just a technical and very clinical win from here on. My opponent played bishop to d2, I played queen to d8, which is already +4 according to the engine. And after bishop to e1, queen to g5, here the amount of pressure has piled up so much that this is already +8, +9 position. So at least getting rook and bishop or queen in this position. And after queen to f1, it didn't really matter what white was playing in this position. He would lose anyway. So after queen to f1, guarding the g2 square, I played knight to g3, queen moves back to d3 because there isn't any other square to go to. Now knight to e4 check, king moves to e2, rook to g2 check, the king moves to d1, and after queen to g4 my opponent resigned. This is actually a mate in 9 position if I'm correct, but I don't need to show you that. The clear winning of this rook here should be sufficient to win this game, and this, of course, the safe position of the black's king in this position combined with the material wins should be enough, and it is. Okay, if anyone of you have some questions about the Scandinavian defense declined or about this game, post them below in the comments, and see you all soon.